But let's go ahead and go to playback. Has a couple of more bells and whistles in it to understand. And you can see immediately down at the bottom, we have a series of thumbnails. Now those thumbnails are represented by a couple of things in the right hand side of this easy client. Again, we still have our camera catalog over here. Playback is one camera at a time, so if I were to click on another camera, it would just change the playback to that particular camera. When we first come here as well, as I mentioned, the thumbnails down at the bottom are tied to a couple of things. The first thing is the yellow bar right across the top. You can see here's the end and here's the beginning, and you saw one of the cool functions that we've added. If I just hover my mouse over that timeline, you can see right there we do have a hovering objective basically plugged into the system, so I can hover over this and just see. It doesn't change where this thing is displaying what I'm seeing right here. It just shows me, okay, what's over here then, or what's over here, what's close to that. Now, in addition to hovering, we have scrubbing. Now you can see this is moving right here, and I can control it with these VCR-like functions. So let's go ahead and just pause it right where it's at. It also shows in the thumbnails across the bottom which one is lit up, right? Because this one, where this currently is within the time frame of these this particular thumbnail right here. Again, the thumbnails are displayed or at least related to a couple of different things. One thing is the timeline. Now, if you come up here above the image itself, you can see we have a from and how long the duration itself that it's representing. So if I start right here at 1818, where you can see it has started, the duration of 5 minutes. And again, that's just by default. And you can see over here, this timeline is the secondary thing that is related to the thumbnails being displayed across the bottom. All of these are tied together. If this is changed, the timeline will change and the thumbnails will change. If the yellow bar is changed, just by grabbing, for instance, this right here and moving it, the thumbnails will change, and my time bar across the top right here, right, not the timeline, will change as well. And you can see by default it had gone to 5 minutes, because that's what the default is when you come to your playback. Because I grabbed the beginning of that and moved it forward, I chopped off a little bit of it. And now you can tell at the top here how much I chopped off, 1 minute and 5 seconds. Now what I'm displaying between the beginning and the end, and again the beginning thumbnail and the end thumbnail, is approximately 3 minutes and 55 seconds. So I generally don't even use these too much, because I mean, you can for sure, and if you're going to be very specific on times, you could absolutely come right here, choose the day, choose the time. Notice your time frame is within 5-minute windows though, so you're sort of at least a little bit limited when you do use this. However, no problem, because this will at least put you within 5 minutes, and then you can come down here and use the thumbnails and the timeline itself to get to exact number of seconds. Now, what am I referring to? Well, let's take a look, right? We already saw, here's our custom because we made a change. Let's go ahead up here to our show last. I use this a lot, right? Because there's a lot of cool things that you can do here depending on what it is you're looking for, right? End of lunchtime, maybe it's 1:30 or so, somebody says, hey, during lunch somebody hit my car in the parking lot. Well, let's look back over the last hour, like see what happened. This is an hour ago, right? That's what this thumbnail represents. And this thumbnail is right now, or at least when we made that, go to playback and choose the last hour. It's representing from now, an hour ago. So visually we're able to see certain things. Now this is not a great representation, but what I wanted to show here is, let's check this out. Let's go to our lobby camera here at our FLIR headquarters office. Now, an hour is not a good representation of what I want to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back one full day. You notice we have a week, we have a custom, and then again we can put in whatever from time and duration that we want. But if I go back a day, you can see now this is literally 24 hours ago from right now to at this point where I just did this. So visually, and this is what I wanted to showcase here, is we don't really have to do secondary searches. Again, say my car was stolen over the last 24 hours and I've got a camera on the parking lot where my car used to be. I can visually then see, okay, my car was here, it was here, oops, it's not here, right? So sometime between this time period, oops, I must have clicked on something. It's, again, anytime you click on anything here, if you change this, it's going to re-represent itself again. But you can see these thumbnails, this is 1826, this was 2037, it's about 2 hours apart, because I'm looking at 12 thumbnails, and again, I'm looking over a day, so that makes about good sense. But what if we were trying to figure out when the camera itself went to night mode? Oops, again, I clicked on it. You can see it occurred between here and here, right? Again, the car could be missing from the parking space. All I have to do to drill down is if I double click on this one right here, it's going to put this one in the top left. It's going to put this one in the bottom right, and it's going to spread out evenly between those two spots. So let's go ahead and do it. And again, it's changing on the timeline itself right up here. Here's the first one, right, the 2037. And here is the one that was next to it. Now, again, all we're doing is we're drilling down, and that's what we want to do. And you can tell it's happening because these thumbnails used to be about 2 hours apart. I clicked it again. But now they're closer than that, right? 2037, 2049. Now they're 12 minutes apart. So it's drilling down closer and closer to the time. So what we want to see happen is someone turn off that light. Or actually the other day on Friday when I was first doing this, it was perfect because I saw somebody leaving. They turned that light switch off right here. And then they walked out and the lights went off. So it was a really good demo. But I just went back 24 hours for now. We can still see what it happens when it occurs between going from light mode into, or excuse me, daytime mode here into nighttime mode. So let's drill down again. Here it is, 22:24 to 22:36. So in that 12-minute period, let's see what happens. I double click. There's 22:24. Here's 22:36. Again, we can see it. Boom, that's when it happened right here. Something went really dark, so maybe somebody did turn it off. Let's double click again. We're at 22:26. Here's 22:27. We're about a minute apart. Let's see if we can find the culprit. I'm going to double click right here. All right, again, we're still drilling down. 22:26 and 56, 22:27. We're like 4 seconds apart here. Double click. And I think we're as close as we can find. So then what I do is I simply do, whoops, there it is. We can see what happened. I guess the lights just went off enough, or somebody turned off those lights, and the camera immediately went into daytime mode. So you can see how easy it is to find the thing that it is that you're looking for. You notice as I move my timeline, it is moving the little yellow box on my timeline as represented by the thumbnails across the bottom. We've shown you the hovering right here. I've just been scrubbing, so you can see how the time frame does go forward, and then backwards. You could watch things happen in real time.